Hi boys and girls, it's Miss Ashley. Today's activity that we're going to create is a space shuttle. And this goes along with the story we read, May Among the Stars. In this story we learned about a little girl who dreamed to be an astronaut. And this is about a little girl who grew up to actually be an astronaut, and she flew into outer space on a space shuttle called the Endeavour. To create our very own space shuttle, what you're going to need is a piece of cardboard or another piece of sturdy paper. Something more sturdy than just a regular sheet of paper, because it won't hold up for you to play with if you just use a regular sheet of paper. So you could use a paper plate, and I freehanded, so I drew this on my own. So you could have mom or dad help you with this. So I traced the shape of the bottom part of the space shuttle onto a piece of cardboard, and I cut that out. And then the next thing you're going to need is an empty toilet paper roll. And what you're going to do with this is you're going to cut out a small opening for the door of the space shuttle. So this is where you can put your toy or your character or whatever you're using from home to ride in your space shuttle. And here we have Peppa Pig. She's going to take a trip to outer space. So to do that, you can use scissors, or I used an X-Acto knife. And this is something you're going to want to have a grown-up help you with, so we want to be very careful when we're using sharp objects. The next thing you're going to do is, with some white paint, you're going to take and you're going to paint both the base of your space shuttle, so this part, and I didn't paint the back side of it. You can if you'd like. I just painted the front side, and then I also painted my toilet paper roll. And then I waited for those two things to dry. And once they dried, I used other paint. I had some black paint and some blue paint, and you could use whatever color you would like. And then I also used a red Sharpie just to draw some different things on my space shuttle. I painted the top of it black, and then I used the blue paint to paint some stripes on my space shuttle, and my red Sharpie to put another line on my space shuttle. But you could use whatever you want to decorate your own space shuttle. And then I just so happen to have some astronaut stickers and space stickers that I used to decorate this part of my space shuttle. And the last thing you're going to need is something to make it look like fires coming out the back of your space shuttle. I had orange pipe cleaners. You could use orange paper or orange streamers, or if you have orange tissue paper, anything you like. I cut out something that looks kind of like a flame. You could glue that on the back so it looks like a flame coming out the back of your space shuttle. Whatever you want to do, though, there is fine. You be creative in making your own space shuttle. And then once you're finished decorating your space shuttle, you can take, and I used tape so I could show you what to do here, but you could use tape to tape this down. I just rolled up a piece of tape, or you can glue it down. And then once you've done that, and you let it dry, you can use it to play with it. And then your toys can take a ride in your space shuttle and pretend they're traveling to the moon. All right, now the second part, or the second activity I wanted to show you, is how to make your very own moon. And for this, I wanted to show you some pictures of the moon. So this here is a picture of the moon from outer space, and you can see on this picture there's some big holes in the moon, and those are called craters. That's where things have hit the moon from outer space and made big divots in the moon or holes in the moon, kind of like a bowl. When you hold a bowl, like the bowl goes down, so that would be kind of like a big hole in the moon, and they're called craters. So to do this, what you need is a paper plate, a white one, and then you're going to use some black and white paint. You want more white paint than black paint, so the gray is a little bit lighter of a gray. And what I did is I took my white paint and I squirted it on my paper plate, and then I took my black paint and I squirted that on my paper plate, and then I took my foam brush, and you can use a regular brush for this as well, whatever you have at home is fine, and then you just kind of move it around until it's all covered. The whole paper plate is covered and the paint is blended in. And this is a good way to watch the colors mix. So you can watch the black and white paint mix to make the color gray. And then once you've painted your paper plate, this is what it'll look like. You'll let it dry. It may take a little while to dry. I did use a hair dryer on mine to help mine dry faster. And then the next thing you're going to do, you're going to make craters on your moon. So to do that, what you need is some baking soda. So I just took my baking soda and I poured it into a cup. You need a spoon, and then you need some vinegar. And this is white vinegar. And you need something like a dropper to pick up the vinegar and drop it onto the baking soda. And then the last thing you're going to need is glue. So, first thing you're going to do is you're going to squeeze some glue onto your paper plate in some different spots. And you can scribble this glue around just like that. So, I have 5 spots of glue on there. And the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your baking soda and you're going to put some baking soda on top of where the glue was. So there you go. You can see that. I don't want to hold it straight up. I'll have baking soda all over my table. And once you've done that, and this baking soda just goes on top of where you put the glue. And the glue will help the baking soda stick to your paper plate. The next thing you're going to do is with your vinegar, you're going to take and with your dropper, you're going to squeeze, and this is going to be, you're going to be able to see a chemical reaction. When we use baking soda and vinegar, how it reacts. And you can see it fizzing there. And then once it dries, and you don't want to squirt too much vinegar on there because then your paper plate will be soaking wet. So I'm just squirting a little bit on top of my baking soda where I put my baking soda. And let's shake it around so you can see. And there it kind of looks like the craters that are on the moon. And then once the glue dries and the vinegar dries, you can actually pour some of that the excess vinegar off of your paper plate, and there you'll have your craters that are on your moon that you made. All right, and those are our 2 activities that go along with our book, May Among the Stars. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.